Hey everybody, clearing. All right. Okay, first off, I just got off of an amazing little video with Robbie J. Bone. We are going to be doing a podcast every Thursday going forward for the next while and see what unfolds from 4:30 till 5:30 live every Thursday here on YouTube on my channel. And yeah, so there's that. Also, I've got just over half the spaces spoken for in the preparation for Sacred Union course coming up starting October 25th to December 13th. Please do find the link in the video description box below here if you would like to sign up for that. I do offer payment plans and discounts for couples who want to sign up together. So there are a few spots left. I would love to have you involved. The group coming together is an amazing group of people. So yeah, having said that, let's get into the reading here. Oh, and I have sessions open for one-on-ones. Okay, so we're gonna do, I heard as above, so below on the pre-shuffle. Well, let's get into it. We're going to do how the masculines are looking at the feminines, how the feminines are looking at the masculines, or maybe I should say how each counterpart is experiencing the journey when considering their counterpart. We're going to look at the energies affecting the connections in the as above, so below. So the energetic realms and how that's playing out in the material realm. Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial information coming through. What can we see for the Divine Collective that joins us here? How are the Divine Masculines and the Divine Feminines viewing each other and their journey at this time? And what are the energies connecting them, the themes that the collective is navigating? I was just giggling and distracted because I got the card of unification, union, right at the top here. But let's get into it. This deck is going to be how the Divine Feminines are viewing their masculine and the journey. All right, here we go. So on the conscious mind about the connections, we're getting union on the mind in the energetic realm. So this means in the ethereal, in the 5D, clarity, knowledge, channeling, unification. So there's so much pristine clarity coming in. There's so much recognition. There's trust. There's, how far have we come in the collective from wondering, is this in my head? Could this be a spiritual connection, to knowing it is, to seeing the proof and having that awareness first person. So this is very much on the fresh conscious layer where both counterparts are confirming this. In the physical, though, that's not being talked about. The Ace of Swords is the communication, both sides here. I'm getting the feeling like this is grounding in the depths of each counterpart, but it's not yet being collaborated, talked about together. What can we see for how the masculines are viewing the feminines in this light? The sun. Ooh. They actually see you shining this light on the things that really matter in your life. You've shifted the focus off of your masculine and onto various aspects of your life. Like they're seeing you rolling with this, and the only way that they could rightfully interpret is that you are taking peace and stability and this container of this beautiful energy in your connection, and you're using it out into the world to make a difference. They're watching you do this, feminines. They have some really clear knowledge, awareness. It's very clear that they see you doing this intentionally with a degree of mastery. So whatever it is you're doing out there, you're not just shining, you're helping show others what that connection to source is, what that tuned in energy is all about. You're demonstrating that, you're living it as a role model, I'm hearing. The way you move, the way you speak, the way you interact in your world. What can we see for how the feminines are looking at the masculines? Six of Swords. So there's a lot of shift in perspective within the masculine's conscious or the feminine's conscious mind about you, divine masculines, about the way you navigate this journey, about what the feminines are seeing or not seeing from you. It's like they're shifting their perspective. As they come into more of their own focus, first person, that autonomy, that sovereignty is really taking the pressure off. You know, when we're in karmic things, there's just nothing but all up in the other person's business. This is a total shift that's being seen by you masculines, but the feminines are taking that focus off of you, and therefore they're actually seeing your wisdom. They're actually seeing your maturity. They're actually seeing the way that you're guided in your life and honoring it. It's not so much about fulfilling the feminine's egoic needs. They're actually seeing you for who you are. You know, this journey, it really does impress upon us the difference between the projections, the assumptions, the expectations, and who that counterpart actually is. The love is strong enough to separate illusion, fact from fiction. And the feminines are going through this paradigm shift. I'm hearing it's very calming for their nervous system to not have to do it for both of you, and to actually allow you masculines to come to the forefront in your true nature, your authenticity. I'm just feeling that the feminines are putting down that momming energy and trusting and believing that you are rising up and they are seeing it, or that you are a divine masculine who is embodying that energy, and the feminines are not having to teach or convince or mom the energy. Beautiful. This isn't necessarily all being talked about, but it's here on the conscious mind. What can we see for the conscious thoughts about the counterpart? Chamber of Incantation, Invocation, and Ceremony. This is really interesting because it feels like both counterparts are realizing that this is a significant connection, and that many of the rites of passage and the traditions and things associated with, I'm even hearing holidays and coming of age celebrations and different rituals that are encoded into our societies. It's like there's a new view of the real deal versus contrived or for show kind of things, including marriage ceremonies or commitment ceremonies. This is really breathing new life into and giving new meaning to the depths of those things, and reclaiming the original intention, the original concepts, the original energy of those things. There's like a rethinking that this person actually could be what all those fairy tales and ancient traditions were actually talking about. There's a return to the sacred. And in the beginning, there's this preparation. So yeah, preparation for sacred union. I'm telling you, sign up for the course that I'm offering, because there is a group that are, you know, Jedi level anchoring this in. We are all fractals for the collective of humanity. And as we do that work within us, we actually seed that frequency out into the collective, into the hive mind. There's a preparation here for this new beginning coming in, and both are geared towards looking at this sacred, true expression that we're seeing in each other. How are the masculines looking at the feminines in this regard? They're seeing the end of burden in their lives, feminines, and in yours. So there's a masculine on this card taking care of what they no longer need to be shouldering. They are putting down the work. They're finalizing the loose ends. They are inspired by you, by this connection. They are all the while, whatever they're taking care of business, whatever those circumstances are, they're in deep thought about this connection, and really mostly grateful that you're still staying with them in the energy, in real life. This is such deep gratitude that while they've been so busy over here doing everything that they've needed to get their karma in order, to get their soul aligned, to get their feet under them as a master, that all the while you've been around, you haven't abandoned, you haven't headed for the hills, you haven't, run. And they're really letting that inform them right now. This person is deep in thought. There is a little bit of a lovely smile on this person's face emerging, like a knowing. How are the feminines viewing the masculines here? King of Cups. Wow, I'm really clearly hearing this message that feminines are thinking about all the love you have, masculines, that you've been showing, not saying necessarily. The King of Cups is not someone of a lot of words, but the actions. And even when you have not communicated, your feminines are beginning to really appreciate the steadfast love that you've demonstrated. It hasn't been easy. This journey hasn't been easy, but your feminine's eyes are being opened, this paradigm shift on just how much love you do embody and the wisdom with which you've been guided to handle this journey, navigate this journey. It is really being shown to your feminine right now. How hardworking, sincere, diligent you really are. Sometimes when things come together too soon, we get an inkling of that, and then, we forget to really allow the truth of that to sink in. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, because if it doesn't come together so easily, we get time to sift and appreciate on a deeper level. Okay, what can we see on the heart space? As above, so below. Self-sustaining systems, fluidity, and abundance. So both counterparts are anchoring in lasting abundance in their own life by taking care of letting go of karma, letting go of instability in their lives, grounding into their root chakra, bringing these aligned ways, divine ways into material realm, into embodiment, into their day-to-day lives. And they're both doing it independently, sovereignly on this journey. And this is opening up absolute freedom of expression on higher path. We don't really have inspiration and mastery if we don't go through the fire as a sovereign individual. And this combination on the heart space, this is a deep bow to the counterpart for not, having a boa constrictor kind of energy romantically while this rite of passage for both going through the fire has been unfolding. How are the masculines looking at the feminines this way? That there is a total transformation. The butterfly theory I heard, the ascended, the butterfly is genetically different than the caterpillar. And that is exactly what happens on this journey. We go from the karmic limitations and short-sightedness to instant gratification, survival mode, and we transcend and we come into alignment with life and the cosmos and the forces and our divinity and righteousness and love. And we have a totally different perspective than when we were in caterpillar perspective. And so the masculines are seeing this unfolding. They know what's up. They know this is happening, feminines. What can we see they see the changes in their lives and yours. How are the feminines looking at the masculines in this way? 9 of Wands. They just acknowledge how hardworking you are. Again here, masculines, how you've been persevering as well. We got that message for both. Like the 10 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, reducing to the Ace of Wands, both are acknowledging the hard work the other one is doing on this journey, how it relates to each other here on the heart space. It's like both understand that they could not be where they're at today if it were not for the specific awarenesses and challenges and experiences of this journey with each other. What can we see for the heart of hearts, conscious mind for each other? In the energetic realms, we get cellular light, self-illumination, simplicity, bioluminescence. And in the physical, we get the card of energetic exchange and telepathy. So I heard it's like a time capsule. In the heart of hearts, both there's this clarion beacon that is emanating from each that feels of cosmic peace, alignment, righteousness, grounding, excitement, exhilaration, aliveness. So both are feeling from each other this sense of aliveness. I just noticed this is a 444. I'm just going to show them. That number has been coming in frequently on the YouTube readings here. This is the 8 of Wands, 4 plus 4. This is an equal exchange. Both are feeling this shift in the counterpart and within themselves on this deep core heart level. How are the masculines viewing the feminines and the journey? It's bringing them out of their comfort zone. I'm hearing specifically where they were afraid of commitment and did not want to overpromise, underdeliver. They are now feeling like it is appropriate to offer more of their authentic self, and that they are safe. They are deepening in the trust with you, feminines. And how are the feminines viewing the masculines? 7 of Swords. They think you're really every kind of mysterious over there, masculines. Yeah, so they're picking up on the energy of it, and they know it's good. But the feminines are really desiring that beautiful confirmation in the material realm, with you showing up physically, with you communicating verbally, in person. There is this, the feminines are very much practicing being in their sovereignty, not necessarily out of sight, out of mind, but peace. When you're not showing up in their physical reality, the feminines are anchoring in the peace that allows them to carry on, to keep calm, carry on as usual, with a grounded, safe, open frequency. And so it's kind of nice, actually. It feels refreshing that the feminines are okay with not needing to know what's going on for you over there, masculines, because there's so much safety and trust coming in on the heart space, because they can feel that you're in a good place. That's so lovely. What can we see for the manifestations here? Temple of the Moon Goddess, emotional transparency, nurturance, and grace. Yeah, there's a whole lot of love. So we're manifesting more of the same. We just had that super moon, and many things, subconscious things, surely came to conscious mind here about the connection, about just how delighted we are about our counterparts, and just seeing things on deeper levels. And also what we need to know about the burden of karma and releasing those old energy paradigms. So this is what we're in the midst of, it's about just tender, loving care at this stage of the journey. How are the masculines wishing to manifest an increase of tender, loving care at this stage with the feminine? By thinking about what they will say. This is a card of communication, taking a very good look at accountability. When we've got the blade there, it's like very much looking at what the masculines can say, how they can interact, how they can prepare for this acknowledgement, how they can continue to embody and take the action without having to, be overly wordy. Masculines are very, very sincerely looking at what is impeccable right now as far as the journey, making sure that they are not getting ahead of themselves, making sure they are doing everything they need to be doing in their own lives. We see the burden card here, the karmic card for the 3rd time, with the old lives being wrapped up so we can get to these connections. How are the feminines looking at the masculines? 7 of Pentacles. So there's 77 here. There's watching, waiting, but not vigilant, hyper vigilant. It's peace. As these things play out, feminines understand the process and what needs to be released as a priority, so there's room for the new to come in. What can we see for the actions the counterparts are taking at this time? Light body activator, luminosity, empowerment, and forward motion. So both are stepping forward in self-love, in true self-love. This is the inspired action that both counterparts are taking, because these journeys have really brought into focus what love is, what self-love is, what unconditional love is, what source connection, agape love is. There is just inspired action, come what may. What can we see for how the masculines are viewing the feminines? They really do see that you've arrived in this beautiful freedom, feminines. They really respect and honor that you indeed are somebody who has become whole. Wow. How are the feminines viewing the masculines here? Page of Pentacles. Again, feminines are staying in this energy of not overstepping middle and allowing the grace, allowing the trust, allowing masculines for you to take the lead, to create that safe container. Your feminine loves you, but your feminine is also healed enough to just deeply appreciate these times where your energy comes into their actual physical world. Your feminine wants to have that as a way of life, but they're not sitting there longing and pining and waiting for it and ruining their vibration while they're in their energy. They've come into harmonic resonance, and now there's just true unconditional love available for when your worlds touch. Worlds collide. What can we see as the biggest challenge for the connections at this time? Quickening exponential expansion, 43, which is my self-love, and the sovereignty card. So the challenge is continuing to remain sovereign in this becoming, in what is being asked of each of us for our own inspired life path, our own purpose, our own expansion at this time, setting the stage for these connections to come in when it's divine time for that layer to be brought in. We have to establish sufficiently, only the divine knows, only we know, with our connection to source, what we're each being guided to do in our own lives. That's restructuring all of the karmic pitfalls, releasing all of that, coming into this new balance. And so that's the challenge, is staying with it. How are the masculines viewing the feminines? Oh, devil energy. I just heard they are attracted sexually, physically. They are really wishing to get to that part. I'm hearing with the devil here that their minds might be running wild right now, because it's coming down to go time, the wire here. These masculines don't want anybody else to get in there. I heard feminines, like they're really craving merging with you. Yeah, this is a challenge right now for the masculines. And I'm hearing it's not a bad thing. This is the masculines ramping up their own permission in self and their own acknowledgement that for the rest of their life, you are the one that does it for them. It's like an every cell in my body kind of energy. This is not a bad feeling, negative thing. You know, masculines, your feminines want to be chosen, held, contained. They want to feel your presence confidently in their lives. And so you're not wrong to allow this intensity to be productive. Because this is a challenge, because it's not quite there yet, there does require composure here, masculines, and trust. So don't let the illusions of competition, lack, affect you adversely. Sink into the love that you do have, and just know you didn't come this far just to come this far. How are the feminines viewing the masculines here? Queen of Cups. So this is the fine line. You know, feminines are demonstrating this sovereignty, this autonomy, this not overstepping anything that the masculines are not willfully bringing to the table. However, the challenge here, feminines, is you're not supposed to numb out your intuition. There is a fine line between crossing over that sovereign middle and numbing out and, you know, out of some kind of pretense, suppressing or repressing the connection that you actually have with this person. Mastery is walking that edge where you're not denying or numbing, but you're also not doing the most. You're sitting in the wisdom, the knowing, the presence of the connection, and vibrating on that frequency, that clarion frequency of love here. What can we see as the solution to this challenge? Temple of eventual destinies, benevolence, spiritual progression, and enlightenment. So, you know, it's almost like I just saw us all in tanning beds, but the light radiating towards us is this supportive energy of the cosmos that's preparing us all for the love of a lifetime and our free will. So your free will is your divine instrument of discernment that keeps you in that middle. We all have this. We're all created in the image of the divine, and we all have the ability to hone our discernment of frequencies, our discernment of what we are experiencing, what our emotions are telling us, what our thoughts are telling us, and we all have the ability to bring ourselves back into peace, back into balance, back into presence. What is the energy the masculines are experiencing towards the feminines? They are awaiting the harvest. They are awaiting this process to ripen. They're awaiting the first fruits here of communion. They're watching for another opportunity to acknowledge, to see each other in the physical. The pentacles are about physical interaction. They're watching for opportunities for this to grow between the two of you. How are the feminines? King of Swords, likewise. Feminines are poised and ready for opportunities to interact with you, masculines. So this eventual destinies and free will, we're not given more than we can handle. So if we've got the wrong interpretation of things, the universe is not going to bring counterparts together because it will be I heard pissing match. If that happens, that can be very karmic. And so when we both have the right perspective of love, where we both have the right resonance, the alive, love-based resonance, the universe can bring us together to encourage the deepening, the safety, the trust. So as you notice, when you're in alignment, you align with your person more in the physical. When you're in misalignment, it blows us apart. So each has the ability through free will to focus on the knowing that this is coming together and to get ourselves into that proper assessment of the energies so that we're not in our own way. So we're not sabotaging the connection. So we're not undermining the love. What can we see in the near future? Next 3 weeks or so? Spiritual strength, virtue, and valor. And we have this beautiful, friendly energy. This is the kindness between two, and this is a testament of spiritual valor. When we are not in our spiritual strength and empowerment, we can project, and that pissing match thing happens. Pettiness or projection, expectation, assumption, fake news. When we're in alignment, we see things in a way that honors what is, and if it is beautiful, then we're able to embrace that truth of the beauty there. And if it is less than aligned, we're able to give space for if and when it can come into alignment. That is what love does. How are the masculines navigating this in the near future? Continuing to do the healing work, continuing to notice the barriers to love as these connections are moving closer together, being magnetized closer together, as this karmic stuff is being released, as the loose ends are being tied up. It goes hand in hand with the healing. It's like we're on an escalator where we're outrunning the karma and the healing is sort of being infused, integrated into us, and we're going towards this eventual union destiny here. How are the feminines experiencing this? Six of Wands, victory. The feminines are sitting in the knowing that this love, this connection, this divine path is victorious. The divine does not initiate something in our lives that is not completed in perfection. That is the way of it. The divine is perfect. When we have it seeded into our hearts and we say yes to true love, it sets the ball in motion. And what the divine begins, the divine completes in perfection. Believe it, stand on that business, and love one another. All right, many blessings, everyone. Bye for now.